Greetings and welcome back to Switched to Linux. Today we are going to be talking about protecting yourself from ransomware. That is right. That is right. Hello Q1 Fiend, greetings, and Middle Schooler 96. Hello there. We have an excessively small amount of comments compared to a usual stream start. Definitely interesting. Not a lot of people on either. I don't know. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump on in. Before we get started, I will not be doing a live stream tomorrow. And I meant to email out the supporters earlier today about that, but I will not be doing a live stream tomorrow on either channel. It will be, I think Ubuntu should be out, so I'm going to do one of those. And we'll kind of leave it at that for that one. So, the Illuminati is confirmed. Greetings and salutations to you. Alan Blake, hello there. DC Sniper, hello. Olivia, Euless Olivia, hello there from Brazil. Greetings there. Love the shows. Thank you, Jeep Gator. Always appreciate that. And greetings and salutations from Illuminati confirmed. Hello. Just love the kitty. Yeah, I know. You guys miss part of the kitty. There's the kitty. Yay, it's a kitty. All right, so let's go ahead and begin chatting about this. First and foremost, Ubuntu should be out, and that should include some of the flavors later today, tomorrow, based on my time. Which one should we look at first? Hello, Flip Flores. Hello, mate, or is that hello, mate? Ha ha ha. Or is it hello, mate? I don't know. Crazy. Well, let's go ahead and get started, and then we'll kind of hang out for a little bit afterwards. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Today, we're going to be talking about protecting yourself from ransomware. And this is definitely an interesting one because first this article came out in The Guardian, and they pointed to a few things here in the United States that were definitely interesting to look at. Two instances this past week. One of these was in Albany, New York, as reported by CNN Politics, reported on Saturday. Albany, New York was hit with a ransomware attack on their city infrastructure. This even infected the police systems, basically greatly decreased the effectiveness of the police force. Genesee County, Michigan was also hit with an attack. This one was also reported. This one was reported Friday, the 5th. And so this one again had a ransomware attack. So here you go. You get in here and you get this kind of exciting stuff inside of your system. And you'll either have to restore from backups, or you will have to pay up, however many Bitcoins and hope that that's the case. But they actually had some information here that I mean, their advice was in my opinion, completely lacking. So their entire thing is that businesses need to protect themselves from ransomware. So if you read through the article, they talk about these recent ransomware attacks in Albany and in Michigan there, but there's another one that there was a small business. Now, a lot of these small businesses you'll see information out on are really small teams. And I actually do websites for a lot of these small businesses where, they can do a lot of business and just be a fairly small group of people, which is quite cool. Just the ability to do that kind of stuff in our modern world, it comes down to marketing, comes down to SEO, comes down to doing things. But there's this in a hearing services, like an audiologist, basically, somebody who'd go in and test hearing and things. And they were hit with ransomware that demanded $6,500, which they couldn't pay. And so the virus deleted and it took over everything. Now, this is a medical practice. So medical records, bills, appointments, backups, all this kind of stuff. And what I find most intriguing here is they say even the backups were destroyed. Well, what were you doing backing things up? Did you just have a drive perpetually connected to the computer? Hey, at least I have 2 hard drives in the system. They basically said here that they didn't know who actually had appointments, so they just treated people as they showed up and took everyone at word for it that there were appointments. So this is basically a business that lost absolutely everything in this ransomware attack. All right. And they said they basically had to close a few weeks later because they just had no ability to run their infrastructure at all. Similar things happened in cities, a lot of different people. Of course, there was Jackson County, Georgia, paid $400,000 to cyber criminals for who had their systems infected. Now, what is causing all of these types of things? And what we're going to do is I pulled out the 4 different steps to look at for this. Now, when you were talking about ransomware attacks, it is basically gets in the same way that any other virus or attack would. It's just a virus that comes in here, encrypts stuff, and then demands a payment for you to unlock your files. The ultimate and best protection against this is good, solid backups. Something this article never mentioned is off-site, offline backups. Off-site, offline backups. You could have yourself a little cloud server and go, oh, see, I have off-site backups, and that could get infected too. If there is a connection between your computer and that file, you could potentially get that same infection. Now, of course, the first of these is security updates. This to me is, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with updates, because the problem is that we've been so convinced to upgrade everything that we upgrade perpetually, and it means that we are oftentimes getting feature upgrades packaged with security upgrades. And I don't want that. Okay, I don't want my software to change. I don't want my functionality to change. If there's a way to just say, turn on security updates only, don't change my software, just patch the security holes, I'm all for it. The unfortunate reality is that everything else gets caught up, and so it kind of becomes problematic. But the default is that. Now, this is actually why I like Linux Mint. I like Debian's things, because the software doesn't roll, but they do perpetually get security patches. This is why I do not use Fedora or Arch for main production computers, because I don't want my software to roll to new versions and new features. If I'm lacking something, I will roll it manually to a new version. Otherwise, I just want the security, not the features. Okay, but the security updates is important, but it's not all important. Like if you think about the WannaCry had nothing to do with your security updates. It had to do with your port settings on your router. Okay, if you had connected your computer directly to the internet, you were probably infected by that. It was basically one port. I think it was port 550, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me entirely. But if that port was open on your network, you were getting it. Because it was a worm. A worm is a virus that goes around and just constantly pokes and probes the whole internet for places to get in. And when it found that port open, it went in and did its thing. If that port was blocked, you were protected. When WannaCry hit OVH, really bad hosting company, I've seen more hacks, problems, and issues coming out of OVH than you can possibly imagine. In fact, just this week, I had to block some OVH servers from some of my websites for clients because some Russian hackers were using OVH cloud servers to bust into things. I had to block a lot of OVH servers to keep the website secure and safe. It had to do with ports. It didn't have to do with much else. So keeping those security updates is good. Now, number 2, and this is once you have your security updates, number 2 thing is you have to be smart. The biggest way for these malware to get in is employees who do not know what to do. Okay, so you got to be smart. You got to train your employees never to open up attachments that you're unaware of. You have to train people not to use the company computers to just browse the internet and have fun. You have to train your people not to fall for phishing scams, that you never click a link in an email unless you are 100% sure you know where it goes. And you can hover over links in emails and see where they're going. Unfortunately, some clients make it a little bit harder to figure out, particularly your mobile ones. But nevertheless, being smart is the best defense. Now, let's talk about the next thing that that you need to do is your backups. Your backups need to be multifaceted. Okay? You want to have what is generally called a 3-2-1 or sometimes a 6-3-1. This refers to having multiple backups and multiple versions of backups. The 3 or the 6 would refer to months back. I want to have a backup that's 3 months old. I want to have a backup that's 2 months old, and I want to have a backup that's as recent as I can. And then I save back one of those. Think of it as an LTS backup, right? Long-term support backup. You're making the backup, you're keeping it in a separate, special off-site, offline location, keeping it out away from anything having to do with your systems. Okay, and then if there's some issue, that is your ultimate backup that 3 months ago you weren't having issues. You can restore everything from that. Okay, that is actually quite important to have that type of system in place. So then you have a 3, you have a 2, and then you can go back again and look back again to the 1 or the most recent. Now, when you're doing your backups, you want to have multiple backups and redundant backups. So I'm a WordPress expert, and one of the things that I see the biggest fallacy people often do is they install one of these WordPress backup plugins and then they think everything's okay. You would not believe how many times I've seen those backup plugins simply not work at all for anything. They're running, but they error out, and nobody knows they errored out until it's like, oh, well, we got some backup thing, just grab the backups. But then the second biggest problem with those, most of those will simply drop your backup right on your server. The very thing that's getting hacked and encrypted. Now, if you pay a premium on some of those, you can connect them to AWS, you can connect them to Google, you can connect them to, a variety of different tools and send the system out. I, though, am a personal fan of manual backups. I go in there and I manually grab the backups out of the system because it's the best way to backup, and then you can verify what that backup happens to be. So when you're doing your backups, you want your redundancy. So you want a backup that's in your office. You want a backup that's not in your office. So I have backups once a month. I do a full backup of everything, and then I have a series of drives to do backups on. So I always actually have 3 or 4 copies of everything laying around. And one of those copies is always sitting in a safety deposit box completely off-site. That's a safe place to be, all right, having it in a safety deposit box. So I'll keep one here. I'll keep one in the safety deposit box, and of course one on the system. And then of course I'll have the extra redundancy as well. Now, having a good online backup system can as well be useful. The problem is that we oftentimes rely on those too much, and you never want to rely on those entirely. That is a great offsite backup, but I do not include an online backup as an offsite backup because there's a connection to your system and that could get infected too. You want to make your manual backups, pull the information off of your manual backups and store them in an offsite location. Might be a safe at a friend's house. Like, you could go get a safe and say, hey, this is going to be backups. I'm not going to give you access to it, but do you have a corner I can throw this safe in? That's cool. You can go and throw your safe at a friend's house. Your house burns down. Hopefully yours and your friend's house doesn't burn down at the same time. I, of course, keep my extra redundant backups in a safety deposit box. So that's an important thing to do. You want to make sure that you have that good, solid redundancy. Okay, so that's our number 3. Number 1 was do your security updates. Number 2 was be smart. Number 3 is have a good backup strategy. Number 4 is security by separation. This is what makes Cubes one of the best security-based operating systems. Everything is compartmentalized. You want to have separate things for separate devices. So, for example, I always run my banking. I have one operating system that does nothing else other than banking. It does banking. Well, it does do one other thing. It does have a backup list of all my passwords for all accounts, for all things as well. That just doesn't take any room. Extra copy over there. Okay, but that is the only computer I do any banking on. So if there's some malware on this computer over here and I don't know about it, and that thing all just goes all crazy and it's spying on everything, when I boot into my banking operating system, that's completely unaffected. So having that degree of separation. So I'll have separate computers I have a separate computer that I use for internet searching and other basic odds and ends like that doesn't get used for anything else. Okay, and because I want to make sure I have that degree of separation. My work computer is only used for work. This computer's production, it only gets used on production type stuff. So there's a variety of different things that we can do to make sure that we can keep everything isolated and separated. So if one system has an issue, we can move to another one. Now, one of the things you can do, and you can just count this as an extra layer of security, do not rely on it, but you can have my work computer backing everything up onto any other computer in the office. That's an okay thing too. That would actually work as well. So there's a lot of different things you can do. The best protection you have against good ransomware attack is to have good, solid, redundant backups of everything that you have. Do not rely on cloud services. Do not rely on automation. You want to make sure at least once a month you are manually examining everything to make sure that it works. So those are my tips on protecting yourself from ransomware. Let me know your tips in the comments down below. You can help support the channel by having a look at the links right above me or in the comments in the description, and follow along on the social media if you want up-to-date information about what we are doing on the channel. All right, welcome guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. There weren't a lot of you, so we started a little early. So, you know, show up on time next time. Show up for class on time. No. All right. Let's see. Middle schooler, by the way. Linux gaming has come a long way. I got Fallout new from Vegas to work almost flawlessly. Nice. Very cool. What's my position on BSD family? My router runs BSD, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I just think that BSD now is where Linux was a decade ago, and that wasn't necessarily a super useful place. Xubuntu is a good choice if it's out. All right. Xubuntu. All right. CNN politics. How is this politics? Hey, man, there's police officers involved. Greetings, Tony. How's it going there? Coopertronics. Been using Steam and Linux for years now. I found Linux actually runs some of my older games that Windows will not. Yes, because Windows dropped some of the old 32-bit components that are needed. Currently in a car going home for Easter break. Service could go out any moment, so I'm just popping on to say hello and banana. It's the Banana Man. Greetings, Banana Man. One in particular on Steam is an old favorite of mine, Broken Sword. Shadow of the Templars. Ooh. Conspiracies? Runs all my Linux boxes, but one machine I have Windows will not run on it. Nice. Have you heard of the haven't heard of the game? Alright. Hello, Lemler. Greetings there. What's the port used for? I don't know. You know what? I think it's an SMB port. I think it's an SMB port. TCP UDP ports. Yeah, I don't know. Human is always the weakest link. That's right. So if we just replace all the humans with robots, we'll be perfectly secure from malware. We'll just have homeless people in the streets who can't afford to pay their bills. Because, you know, all of the good idealism will put robots in place, and then we'll have all this labor-intensive stuff. But you know what? The corporations still like getting paid for their stuff. You know. I want to build a PC. Not sure I should go with Linux or stick with Windows 10. Hey, man, this is a Linux channel. Use Linux. Now, decide what you have to have, and you know, if there's software you have to have for what you're doing that needs Windows, run Windows, dude. Run Windows. That's okay. Let's see. Great advice. One of the weak points of security is people. Yep. I think I have Windows Defender disabled, and on my only thing I download Steam games anyway for gaming. Yep. You can dual boot. Yeah, my self-built computer actually runs an icy dock, so I can, if I needed Windows, I could just pop a drive in here, find a license key for Windows, and install Windows. I mean, I could do it if I needed to. If there was a reason I had to have Windows, I mean, what's a hard drive cost? $50. What's a license cost? 100, $150. This computer can use that. Love the icy docks. Icy docks rock. All right, dual boot tube with Proton. I've been on Linux more. Gaming PC will run like a dream. I use 2 cards in mine. Nice. Just got here. Is there a ransomware problem in Linux? Not that I know of. It can affect it. I mean, it's not, Linux is not immune, but I haven't heard of any. Greetings, Yu-Gi-Oh! How's it going there? What if Pizza's getting on? I don't know. Pizza. Mandatory access controls, privilege separation, firewalls. There you go, yeah. Cubes is a pain to install. I can never get it quite right. The reason I haven't done an updated Cubes tutorial is I really want to get a card. But you know what, guys? I might just go ahead and install Cubes. I might just go ahead and do it with my DSLR camera because I actually can set that to not like. When I did the Cubes tutorials before, used the webcam, it did not work out well, but I can actually record the screen better with the direct camera. It's just getting screen recorders to work in Cubes is not a trivial task. I don't know, maybe I'll try it though. I don't know. Greetings, Gnostic. How's it going there? Frankly, I'd rather have a Threadripper than an i9. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Intel these days. CentOS, Red Hat, all of SC Linux go out of the box. Planning on getting a better mic setup. I toyed with the idea, but this mic setup works good. I actually have a secondary backup mic as well, which actually sounds better. It just runs on batteries, so I don't use that on. I don't use that usually. Frankly, I think my mic setup is decent enough. I mean, if I do this, it's bad, but yeah. I toyed with the idea, but priorities said, nah, do some other things. Alright. See the circle on the chalkboard. Put your nose in it till he says you can sit down. There you go. Oh boy. Threadripper isn't as good. You need a more recent kernel for a Threadripper, I believe. Use USB drives and 30 gig old iPods to keep my backups on. There you go. Yep. Get a hold of a 2 terabyte SATA drive. Very cool. My NAS has 2 1 terabyte drives in a RAID. Input uses 1.44 M floppies. Awesome. So how many floppies does it take to save a backup of a video? I'm just curious. I was a techno geek in college, man. I had iOmega zip disks. In fact, I got my first USB drive in grad school when my zip disk failed to save my comprehensive exam, and a week before I did my comprehensives, I had to rewrite the whole thing because the backup failed. I didn't have to rewrite the whole thing. I did have a backup. It just wasn't the most recent version. Oh well. That's why I had printouts too, so I recovered. It took a while. Hello there, Lamont. How's it going there? Good question. Is there a way to create an ISO/live DVD from a current installation, all programs included? Yes. I don't remember the name of the application. Hopefully someone here will. But yeah, there's a few different Linux applications that allows you to create an ISO from your current install. So I remember the name of those. Now, Q1 Fiend lusted after zip disks back in the day. But did you go for the 100 or the 250s? 250s. Imagine that, 250 megabytes. The God disk. My first hard drive in my computer, the guy told me, you will never fill this drive. You will never fill this drive. All right, guys, we have some extra time. Should I record a video on how to install Fedora from a net installer? That might be helpful for some people. And I do need to reinstall my Fedora build, so give me a go, no go on that. Just need to reset my VirtualBox over here. Settings. All right, let's see. Hello, Kyrie Holmes. How are you? I am doing well myself. ADHD Gamer was born in 95. Awesome. I remember the old zip drive. Still got my old Attar 800 floppy. Ooh, 5 1/4 drives. Nice. I still have some 3 1/2 floppies laying around. I don't have any 5 1/4s. MMX, I think MX selects you create a USB of your current system. All right. And remember Jazz disks? Oh, I do remember Jazz disks. Yes. I do. What's up, kitty? You want to come up and say hello to peoples? Hello, peoples. All right. Let's go back to the comment view. That'd be nice. Actually, let me go to this view because I have a kitty that just took over my desk. There's a cat on the desk. There's a cat on the desk. Houston, we have a cat. I've used DATs. I don't think I've used DATs. Hey, hello, Richard Addison. Sudo DNF at switched to Linux. Greetings. All right. Sudo DNF install kitty. All right. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this, close this. All right, we're going to go ahead and walk through the Fedora installation process. I think that sounds like a potentially valuable thing to do. Actually, that will require me doing my redoing my banner, though. Banner. Redo my banner. Hey, kitty. You're like interfering. My cat is an interferer. Oh, wait. He's got a Hitler stash, so he is an interferer. My kitty, the interferer. All right. 3 apps make ISO from the current one: Linux Respin, System Back, and Linux Live Kit. All right, thank you very much, client. Appreciate that. So look into those applications. Started community college with a Pentium 3 laptop as an SSH client to my machine at home. There you go. Nice. Wireless adapter on Ubuntu Game Pack. Know which adapter I have. Okay, so on Ubuntu, there is an application called Drivers. You want to go in, load up that application called Drivers, and let it scan your system. Now, you do need to be on a network to get it installed, but it should automatically detect it. If it doesn't, then you have, I think, a Realtek driver, which are a total pain, and you'll have to look it up. Let's see if there's other ways to look up the driver. I think someone else could probably indicate a few other ways to look at it. Interfer, that's right. Going to install Torb on my phone, but Qualcomm Secure Boot is on even after OEM unlock. Uh-oh. Snakes scare you, go away. Fedora has Anaconda for the installer. Yep. Yes, network LSPCI will tell you. Do an Arch installation process? Not right now. I can do an Arch installation after I run through it once or twice. Let's see. Hello, Anarita. Greetings, greetings, greetings. All right. We're going to go ahead and run this one here. Kitty, you might actually need to go, unfortunately. Kitty, stop. All right. You need to go, unfortunately. Yeah, but keeps on hitting my mouse. If I'm going to do another video, I need to have full control. Oh, don't look at me like that. You can come back up in a few minutes. All right. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Well, today we're just going to do a very quick installation of Fedora through the net installer. Now, of course, you can go onto Fedora's website and download the Workstation Live CD. That will give you the installation option for installing GNOME. The net installer will allow you to install a lot of different functions, and so what we are going to do is we are going to walk through how to install Fedora from our net installer. So you can download the net installer, and then what we're going to do is boot this up into our system, and then now we can either run the install or we can test the media. The default is to test the media. I'm pretty confident of my media, so I'm just going to go ahead and click install. So this is going to boot us into an installer, and so we will be able to go ahead and install Fedora utilizing a variety of different options. Now this already has a Fedora installed. I just want to reinstall it to show you guys how to do this, and we're going to walk through the advantage of the net installer is you can pick your desktop environments and the other software, so you can basically build a custom system. It does use the Anaconda installer, which is an okay one for me. All right, so here we are. We are in our system here, and we can start by just selecting our languages. Click Continue. It does tell us this is an unstable pre-release. That is because I am doing this with the Fedora 30 beta. And so we are going to go ahead and proceed. The installation for the final release is going to be the exact same. It just does not give you that specific warning. It will be finalized. Now this part here could take up to a couple minutes. What it's doing right now in the background is it is downloading some system information that it might need from the internet. So the net installer basically means that it is installing it's downloads with the minimal information that it needs, and then we go ahead and mount that stuff into your system, and then it's going to allow us to download only what we need for the install. And again, this will take a few minutes, so you'll see that the continue is still blacked out, so I'm just going to stop talking until it's ready to go. Okay, so now we are on to the next screen, and you'll see these guys here are grayed out. It's still downloading information. It is telling us here that our installation automatic partitioning is selected, but it will not allow us to install yet because there is the disk does not have enough room or whatever else. So we're actually going to start by clicking on this. It's still downloading some of the other packages it needs. So what we're going to do down here is I like to just go ahead and keep things on automatic. And then with this guy here selected, that's good. But again, if I deselect it, then it's not going to let us go through because there's no disks selected. So this is the part that seems to be a little confusing. We're going to click done. This is going to give us this box that says basically we don't have enough room. So we're going to reclaim space. All right. I'm just going to push my delete all, reclaim my space. Now it's going to go back, and you'll see that this guy is ready to go. Now our installation source, we can select our mirror. It's automatically defaulted to the closest mirror, so that's fine. We're going to go ahead and keep that. If you wanted to use a specific mirror, then you can use this and change some. You can change some different mirrors around and things like that. Now, the important one here for us is the software selection. So the software selection is where you can come over here and we choose our base environment, which is our desktop environment, and then we have our various add-ons. So Fedora Workstation is pre-detected. Fedora Workstation means GNOME. That's why you don't find that in the list here. So we have a Fedora, a server edition, which is basically just a server with all the different server stuff. We have a minimal installation. We'll boot into a command prompt. And then we have a variety of different things. So there's Plasma, XFCE, LXDE, LXQT, Cinnamon, Mate, Sugar, Deepin. Now Deepin is new, and the other one that is also new is Pantheon, which is not available in this list. I don't know if it was excluded or if it was intentionally not in the list as of this beta. You can install it. You can install it by installing the Pantheon group once the system is up and running. In fact, we're going to look for it over in the extra add-ons and stuff. I'm actually going to go, let's see, I'm kind of tossed. I want to experiment with, the Documents application. So I'm going to need something based on GNOME. And I'm just going to go ahead and use Cinnamon this time. If Budgie were an option, I would go with that as well. And then on our right panel here, this is where we want to look at different administration tools. So do we need administrative tools? Do we need audio production tools? It doesn't tell us exactly what's in each one of these lists, but if you're doing audio production, so let's go ahead and select that one. There's books and guides, Compiz, there's Design Suite towards professional designers related to graphics, web, and animation. We'll go ahead and go with those. And let's see if there's anything else here. Electronics, and I said we're just going to go ahead and see if the Pantheon group is in here, which I don't see it. System tools, if you need some various SMBs, network traffic things. This might include print drivers, not sure. And then there's various Windows managers as well. We're just going to keep it at that for now. We're going to click our Done up here, and then that should get us back up to our installation. And it does tell us that we have an error somewhere. Error checking software dependencies. Okay, so it looks like we have a few dependencies. So it's basically wanting to, let's see, modify software source. I'd have to go ahead and figure out what those dependencies are. That one I'm not completely sure on. Let's just see if I deselect everything over here, see if it's something related to the desktop environment we chose or if it's related to something in our list. Actually, it appears to be related to our desktop environment. Let's go back to here. Let's just give this a try without any software. I've never actually encountered that issue before using the net installer. I've done this several times. It's actually quite interesting. Okay, so apparently it had something to do with some of the software packs I selected. So I'm just going to grab the audio production, see if that's it. We're just going to do a little bit of scientific elimination. Let's see if that gives us an error. So that one's the one that seems to be giving us an error. So I'm going to kick that one off. And we'll do that one. Still doesn't like that. So never actually encountered that issue before. We'll just go ahead and install any software that we need when we're done. All right, so now it's not having any problems. So now that we click this, this is one of the cool things about Fedora is, or the Anaconda installer, I should say, is that it begins to install before you have to enter things. Basically, it saves you a little bit of time. So we want to set a root password. I'm just going to go ahead and set this as a super secure word called Fedora. Now, because it is a weak password, we have to press Done again to use it. For user creation, let's go ahead and also create a user called Fedora. Require a password to use it, yes, and we can make this an administrator as well. So again, it is weak, so we'll have to click that twice to go. So now it's just a matter of waiting until the system is done. Now, there's going to be some steps that we need to do when we are done with this. But we're going to go ahead and wait until basically what's going to happen is it's going to do all this. It's going to install everything, and then it's going to tell us that we are done. And then we are going to come back. And as we come back, then we will be able to reboot the system and actually finish the setup once we do our install. All right, so that's going to take a little bit of time. Let's go ahead and jump on back to our comments and have a look at our comments while that's going. Then we'll come back up and wrap this up. All right, let's see. Hello, Isaiah. Greetings to you. Realtek drivers and Linux are a pain. Yes, those ones I was thinking of. I left Ubuntu because I kept having to compile the latest kernels. Now they have Ubuntu kernel update utility, but I like Fedora because I can spend more time actually using the system. Yeah, CJ's being a naughty boy. Yeah. Realtek either works or it doesn't. Broadcom is worse. Actually, no. I think Realtek is worse than Broadcom. Broadcom, at least it's found by the driver utilities and will install itself. Does Fedora have a game distro? I don't know of a specific one. Wife is giving me a foot massage while I watch Tom. All right. Hit the lot of the women of mine. All right. Yep, you did. Self from ransomware is an important topic. Yes, we already did that part, Peter. You probably jumped on too late for it. So what we were going to do is I'm going to edit that video. I'm going to edit that out, and I'll release that tonight, and I'll do this Fedora one, re-release this Fedora release, I don't know, sometime in the next few days. Yoda, Y-O-D-A, Yoda, Yoda. Fedora deepened sounds interesting. Hey, they're deep into Fedora. Yep. Wife's giving me a foot massage while I watch Tom, so I guess she'd pick up a few tips. There you go, when Toss made the video. All right, there you go. Greetings, STS. How's it going there? You are pretty late. I've already went through the entire first topic, and we are halfway through the second topic of installing Fedora. Okay, there are ways to fight back against ransomware. First, never run your machine as the administrator account on Windows or on root on Linux. Next, encrypt your home folder, at least. Guides I found on Linux security hardening on the Ubuntu forums. Oh. What's up, kitty? Be a good kitty and let me have my mouse? You're going to steal my mouse pad. You're going to turn that into a cat pad, aren't you? No worries, I'll do the replay. Yep. Hey, we are 98% done downloading everything. That's cool. Look at the cute kitty while somebody else comments more stuff. Juicy steak. Ooh, juicy steak. I think I'm having juicy chicken today is what I'm doing. All right, let's see. So if you just jumped on, we are installing Fedora. We're waiting for it to install. Then we're going to go ahead and boot into the machine and then show you the next steps. It is now installing 8 out of 1,396 packages. That's exciting. CJ is back, the star of the show. Yep. Loading 2 news articles tonight for the Linux Report. Very cool. Right, Kitty? Yeah? What do you think? What do you think? Huh? What do you think? 65 packages out of 1,396. That's exciting. Well, we're 10% complete. Yay! Thumbs up for the kitty. Thumbs up for the kitty. Right, cat? What's up, kitty? I eat sardines with potatoes and vegetables. Ooh. Never been a big fan of fish. I had a teenager who used to stay over my house sometimes, and he loved sardines. And I'm like, you can eat all the sardines you want out on the back porch. Hello, Paul. How are you? Okay, CS Reindeer. I use i3, but checked out GNOME for beta. Used the beta for the main. It's much improvement. I'm actually impressed. Yeah, the latest GNOME on Fedora is very good. Actually, it's nice and fast and snappy. I still don't care for the UI much, but you know. Just a reminder for everyone that jumped on, I will not be doing a live stream on either of the channels tomorrow. I might do a QA on the Christian channel tomorrow in place of the live stream, and maybe do a live stream on Friday instead, Friday afternoon. I'm thinking about doing that. So just an FYI, I will be mostly off tomorrow. I think Ubuntu should be out in my time later tonight. So as soon as I see that go out, I'll go ahead and do a video. So hopefully we will have a video for tomorrow looking at one of the Ubuntus. So just an update on that. I will not be doing a video, and I'll go ahead and post that on the social media accounts in case. All right. Crazy bread. Portuguese love their sardines. No, hey, to each his own, you know. Allergies kicking your butt. Oh, that's not good. Haven't had Little Caesars in a while. Pizza. Where is pizza? Okay. No meat in my bag. Yep. Another like for the kitty. See, let's get more likes for Kitty Belly Rub. What do you think, kitty? Hate GNOME, so annoying. Yep. GNOME, it's not. We're installing Cinnamon on Fedora, if you weren't here for that part. Oh, cat. Cat's like sitting here like, hey, I'm going to mess with that mouse. I think he's trying to end the live stream. He's like, end the live stream. We are about 50% done now. Oh. That's it. That makes 5 treats you've had today. Such a fat kitty. Do you like smoked salmon fish? I've never had smoked salmon, but I like baked salmon. Baked salmon's not bad. Do it up with some nice lemon pepper, maybe some rosemary. Who likes Void Linux? I avoid it. No. When I tried Void Linux last, I simply could not get it working. The developer actually said it's probably the version of VirtualBox I run on my system. So that's probably what caused the issue. So if I wanted to run Void again, I'd just install it on a real hardware and see if that actually works. Hey, we're just about to cross 1,000 packages out of 1,396. Can you expect someone to pick up a dead squirrel in the middle of the road? Or should I do it myself? I'd just leave it there unless there's a reason to get it out of the road. Yeah. %50 of what? Oh, the install. We are installing, if you just jumped on, we are installing Fedora, and I walked through the first part of the installation. We're going to wrap this up with when you first boot into it, looking at the basic settings. In fact, come to think of it, the settings thing that I was thinking of is when you're installing the workstation, not Cinnamon. So I don't know, it might actually be done when we're done with this, but we'll see. That's why we're kind of hanging right now. We did our first topic. We're just waiting for an installation of Fedora to finish. We're on package 11,100 of 1,300. Now, technically, it's 1,400. It's 1,396. For everybody following the book-related stuff, I'll be doing another book release here, probably by May 1st is when the next book will be released. Those are on the... You can get more information on my Christian channel at Our Walking Christ. It's out. It should be back on the way back to me here by now. And I think by the end of the weekend, I'll have at least the ebook out. Ebook's going to go out on KDP Select and Kindle Unlimited for 90 days. Then it's going to be available everywhere where you can buy books. Audiobooks and print books will roll out everywhere as quickly as usual. Uh-oh, CJ, your girl's on the lap. Now start looking sexy. Hey, you got to stop eating and start looking sexy. Your digital girlfriend's watching you, kitty. He's like, I'm just cute by the nature of who I am, so no matter what I do. We are on 1,303 out of 1,396. We are almost done. Dog can't stand. I'm on here. Uh-oh. Hey, kitty. Meow for the puppy. Meow. 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 How long is this package going to... Dude, it's like the icon paper theme. It's taking forever to install. How much time does a theme need to install? It's still on the same package theme. It's an icon pack. It's sitting here going, "Yee, we don't know, man. We don't know." Here, you guys can count it down with me. Hey, there we are. We got installed. Installing Google Noto Sans TrueType fonts. Huh. No, not Google. Not Google indeed. So we are installing Fedora Cinnamon right now, and then once this is done, then we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. Now 1396. Oop, now it's configuring the kernel. Should be wrapping up here shortly. Do I have an alternative for Android phone? I run Lineage OS on my phone. That's what I run with all. It's completely Googlified, so there's no other connections out to Google, things like that. So that's actually what I'm running for my device. And then all of the applications get installed from open source sources, but I don't use a lot of apps. A lot of your quote-unquote apps you can just as well do from a secure mobile browser instead. Greetings, Sleepy. How's it going there? Sleepy, for you too. I will not be doing a live stream tomorrow, so no supporter stream this week. Never got my money back from the gift card. I had to buy the audiobook, but I got Indigo card instead, as Indigo works on Kobo too. Oh, that's not good. How like the gift card get messed up? Ew, Fedora. That's not bad. Okay, one little hiccup, and that's not even the problem. Fedora installer's nice. Yeah, I'm trying to think, what is my favorite installer overall? I don't know. I think the Ubuntu installer does a really good job. Debian's nice because it's a lot easier to determine where your bootloader is going. That's actually a handy tool. Graphical glitch on boot up and login screen that corrects itself. Running Windows 7 years ago, I was attacked by ransomware. They gave me no X to click out. Oh, was that the Windows 10 spyware? Good Friday for you. Yeah. What phone do I use with Lineage? I use a Nexus 5X. Hello, Michelle. How's it going there? Oh, now it's installing the bootloader. Woohoo! Calamars for me is the best. Never failed me once. Fedora's close second. Yeah, that one's nice too. Calamaris is nice. That's Manjaro, I believe, uses that one, right? Am I correct about that? Do I have lots of sales on the new book? Not as many as I was thinking I would. Do I still have my Mint install? Of course. I don't get rid of my production systems. Calamara's best, never failed, but Fedora's close second. Yeah, Fedora's gotten a whole lot better in recent years. I have to say that. Hey, all right. I'm gonna give myself about a minute of silence so I can find this. Okay, so now that we have completed, we get this screen where it talks about reboot. Now the challenge that we have is that since we're running this in a virtual machine, it's actually going to reboot itself with the virtual machine still in there. So I'm actually going to power the machine down and kick the drive out of it. Now we'll go ahead and restart. And now it should boot itself into the Fedora that we just installed. All right, so now we are into our login screen. Of course, we did install Cinnamon on this one. So we have OpenBox, Cinnamon Software Rendering, and Cinnamon as options. So we're just going to go ahead and boot into this. Now, if you are installing the workstation with GNOME, when you first log in, it's going to give you some extra options like your location settings and things like that. I don't know if this is going to give us any options or not. So once we get logged into the desktop, we'll be able to see what we are in for. All right, so it did default back to software rendering mode, which makes sense because we are on a virtual machine. So here we are into our system. Let's go ahead and look at get system information, I think. So looking at our system info, we should be on the latest version. We can tell from the icon look. So we are on Cinnamon version 4.0.10. Linux kernel is 5.0.7. You can see what my processor and things are here. And so everything over here looks pretty good. So of course, once you get into here, you can go ahead and make some adjustments to your system as far as like I'll look at privacy. So this is the one that GNOME will actually have the question about this privacy and things like that. Cinnamon doesn't ask you those when you install. So that is the basic installation of Fedora utilizing the net installer. Major advantages are the ability to pick your desktop environment out of the box. And I'm not sure what was up with the audio packages there, but it did not seem to allow us to install those. So there's some dependency there that we need to work on. I'm not sure if that was because we're on a beta or if whatever else that was. I really like the theming on this. This is actually very nicely done theming here. This looks very good, very nice, very clean. So there is our Fedora install. So thanks for coming along on this brief video. You can follow along other videos on the channel. Have a look at the links above me or in the description down below to help support the channel, and have a look at the social media accounts if you'd like to follow along. All right. That's a very anticlimactic end, but oh well. Had to be done, right? Had to be done. And we still have a kitty on the desk. All right. Let's see. Where's Quint? I don't know where Quint is. Favorite distro till I have install issues. The new book is about the last book I just released is called I Am Not Amused, and it is about media entertainment and the Christian. The new book that's going to be out in May 1st-ish is about the doctrine of sanctification. It's a Bible study looking at the kings in the Old Testament, particularly focusing on Josiah. So that's what the new one is about. Okay, about change. Wife just mentioned your new book to her co-workers at the hospital. Awesome. Very cool. Thanks. On Amazon right now, I'm not sure if it's on Canadian. It should be pushed out everywhere. On Amazon right now, if you buy the book I Am Not Amused, the Kindle version is free. That's going to change April 26th is when I'm going to change that back. So and for another week and a half or so, that will be on sale. They're also on sale on my website as well, of course, in the United States. I only sell on my website to the United States. Okay, maybe antiquated, but both beautiful and simple. Man, I thought you used Windows because of the document icons. Nope. We're on Linux. Really dressed Mate up. Prefer the old advanced menu layout. Love XFCE and Mate, but they act weird sometimes. That's what I think. At times, I find that feeling as well. Mishmash of things put together. It might be. Hey, there's pizza. What'd you miss? The whole thing. Jeez. Okay. I was wanting to get it working with EFI mode. Looked a little deeper in the universal USB installer I've been using for years. Sets up an MBR. Yeah. Yeah, you missed pretty much everything, man. Tried to install the bootloader, would fail because I was booted in EFI live mode, yet the flash drives is set up traditional MBR. Just to the streams coming at 4. Drive GPT, okay. Cubes OS is the best. I like Cubes. Cubes is a great one. Can't wait for Ubuntu 1904. All right. But I also noticed problems with Peppermint 9. It failed me again. Tried to remove Dropbox. It took out my login. Suddenly my password was no good. I don't use Dropbox. I always delete it from Peppermint, but I don't know. All right. It looks like I have a meeting in an hour, and I'd like to go and get a few things done before that meeting. So I think we're going to go ahead and jump off of the stream at this point. So if you guys missed the beginning part, I'll have that one up tonight. And then I will do the, I'll release the Fedora one at a later date. Whenever I have need of pushing out another video, I'll go ahead and release that. So with that being said, thanks for coming along, everybody. And let's see, I will not do a live stream tomorrow. I will try and release a regular video though. So we will see you guys back for the news on Friday at 9 p.m. Tom, a way of supporting is buying your books and letting people know about the channel. That is awesome. That's the best thing you can do. I always appreciate that. So yeah, very cool. All right, guys, we will catch you later. Have yourselves a wonderful afternoon. Say bye-bye, kitty. And for you guys that came on a little late, maybe, I already did feed the kitty. So, you know, we'll see you guys later.